Not out of the clear just yet. Let's go ahead and check in with Marielle to see what we can expect for the rest of the day. Hi, Marielle.
Hi, great explanation there. We do have still really a lot of trouble spots. We're looking at Denton here, temperature at about 32 degrees, but you can still see that looks still iced over one of those roads there. The field also looking pretty icy. So it just kind of depends on where you're at. Whenever we have this precip that's still falling, it is falling in the form of liquid rain, so just regular cold rain, but depending on where you're at, it could still be freezing on contact. And a lot of that melting on the roadways is happening when cars drive over. There's traction, so a little bit of heat, but it's not going to stay that way. We're going to see some patchy freezing tonight. In fact, right now we're right at the freezing point at DFW Airport. It feels like 24 degrees. Winds are out of the north and west. I am happy to report, though, the winter storm warning, the ice storm warning has expired. It expired at 9 this morning. We're still looking at a little bit of that freezing drizzle moving in and slightly higher amounts across portions of Wise County towards Jax County, seeing a little bit of higher activity there. Again, a lot of this is going to look just like liquid when it's falling, but once it hits and comes in contact, if that surface happens to be freezing, it's going to freeze on contact. Mineral Wells along 281 there, also seeing some of that freezing drizzle as well as in Weatherford. But as we look east of I-35, it looks like more just cold rain starting to transition. We'll continue to see this transition, by the way, the rest of the day. Over the last 6 hours, you can see we saw a lot of pink, now a lot of green, and that is that transition back to cold rain. Again, still seeing a little bit of activity from Archer City towards Mineral Wells, so definitely want to still be careful. That's going to be the trouble spot for this afternoon, areas north and west of the Metroplex. The rest of the day plays out like this. We make it barely above freezing this afternoon. We're going to see the cloud cover. We're going to see the on and off cold rain. And yes, tonight we do see freezing temps again. So we are going to still have some slick spots by tomorrow morning. Now, we have been checking on the roads for you all week long, and today is no different. Let's go ahead and check in with Chris Sadeghi. Where are you?
Marielle, we're on 183 in Irving, kind of heading back towards Dallas, and the roads are so much better today than they have been in the last couple of days, but that doesn't mean it is a joyride. You can see here from our truck camera that it is still very wet. You got a lot of ice on the side, and as you are driving, you got this mist kicking up on your windshield. That's why I'm going to get our windshield wipers going here. The ice is pushed off to the side. You can see it on the shoulders, which that can still be a hazardous if you have to make use of the shoulders for whatever reason. Another thing I gotta warn people about, the ice flying off vehicles is a real problem. We almost got hit with a sheet of ice that came flying off a truck not too long ago, and we've seen it really all across the highway as people who have been leaving their cars put for a while, that ice getting on top, accumulating on top, then you hit the highway and it comes flying off. So that is a real problem. Not a whole lot of cars out on the road right now, but definitely more than we've seen in the past few days. So there will still be some slick spots, and you can see as we swing our camera around just how much ice is still out there on the side of the road. Still going to be some slick spots, so don't get too comfortable. You know, as soon as I flip the camera to me, you see ice come flying off. Just that's the way luck goes as a TV reporter. Jobin, you know it, right? The timing is just always a second off. I hear you're in Plano. Hopefully you have a little bit better timing than I just have right now.
We are here in Plano, and we're actually outside. Chris, I don't know how you got that gig, man, being inside the heated car. But hey, take it if you can get it. We're out here live on 75 and George Bush. The big concern right now are some of the ice collecting on these trees. An expert tells us it's not so much the ice on the tree that affects the tree, it's when those trees and the tree limbs start to break. In terms of the roads, we're seeing all kinds of conditions, and Chris told you a little bit about it, as well as some of the dangers. You know, we've got icy conditions on the road, we've got slick sheets of ice. This is something that you're going to be dealing with when you go out onto the streets. Here we're looking at 75, traffic moving considerably smoothly compared to the last 2 days, and a lot more traffic. We see probably a lot more traffic in the last 30 minutes than we saw all of Tuesday. All of your major intersections in your city are likely sanded, salted. The toughest roads you will be on are some of the roads right next to your home. Now in Plano, we should know there are still sanding operations going on. Recreation centers, libraries will still be closed today. Those trash and recycling collections, they're inspecting the routes right now, reevaluating the conditions in those alleys early today. They were seeing a lot of low-hanging icy limbs like we just showed you. That is a cause for concern. And if they realize that those alleyways are cleared, they will start collecting trash at some point later today. Reporting live here in Collin County, outside, unlike Chris, I'm Jobin Paniker.
Okay, he gets an extra coffee or something next time, all right? Thanks, Jobin.
Sure.
Make sure you have your WFAA app handy to keep up with any big changes in the conditions today. You can share your photos too. We love to see those using the Near Me feature. I mean, whether it's melting or not, we want to know what's happening in your area. So thanks to everyone who has shared photos and videos already this week.